Governor J.B. Pritzker visited Southern Illinois today. Good evening. I'm Jacob Gordon.
And I'm Diamond Palmer. The governor says the state will be proactive in helping communities deal with natural disasters. But he says he's not ready to declare a state of emergency in the metropolis area.
We're not going to leave until this immediate crisis is over.
Pritzker also said the declaration for a state of emergency could change if the Ohio River continues to rise. Harrisburg State Senator Dale Fowler toured the flooding with the governor. He says state assistance will be important after the floodwaters recede, and he will be working to get the state the help it needs. Governor J.B. Pritzker has also been appointed to the Council of Governors to advise the federal government on national security, disaster relief, and the National Guard. Yesterday, Pritzker's office announced he was chosen after a weekend meeting of the National Governors Association. Pritzker says Illinois plays an important role in national security because it's the Midwest's largest state and has a strong National Guard.
The southbound lanes of Interstate 55 are back open tonight after a deadly crash happened early this morning near Portageville. The Missouri Highway Patrol says one person died in the crash between a commercial vehicle and a passenger vehicle. The victim's family was notified. And Illinois lawmakers are pushing a plan to increase the state's mental health care system budget. Representative Deb Conroy and Senator Heather Stearns have filed identical bills for the new Mental Health Modernization Act. The legislation proposes to increase the budget by $50 million over the course of 4 years, with the money coming from the state's Medicaid program and 50% match and federal funding. The increase would help to attract and retain behavioral health workers.
Part of Interstate 24 in Tennessee near Nashville was shut down after a massive landslide covering the highway over the weekend.
Rocks, mud, and even entire trees came from the mountain collapsing onto the roadway below. The cleanup effort won't be easy, but crews are already at work. Chris Conte reports.
On Old Hickory Boulevard, on the off-ramps of I-24 East, drivers had no place to go.
How far do we have to go up here?
You're just going around this way.
Okay.
Stopped in their tracks not by a crash. Did you know that there was a landslide?
No.
But because the earth came crashing down on Saturday night. It is still astonishing to see 50,000 cubic yards of soil, clay, trees, and boulders, all covering a massive swath of I-24 East. Perhaps it's so fascinating to look at because none of it is where it belongs.
It was the type of failure that we just would not be able to predict.
Paul Degas is the chief engineer for TDOT. Their biggest concern right now is for the engineers and work crews who are trying to clear the highway.
The fix here is a fairly routine type fix. The risk right here is safety for the workers that are out there.
In order to reopen I-24, crews will first have to start pushing debris from the back of the slide zone forward down onto the highway. Crews on the ground will slowly start hauling that material off in dump trucks.
And obviously for motorists, we can't be pushing material off from the top as people are driving by, so we're trying to work as quick as we can.
Eventually, once the top of the slide zone is stabilized, engineers will backfill the area with blasted rock. Simply getting above the landslide, though, is not easy. It's steep and the land is still saturated.
We can't put 50 bulldozers up there. There's just not enough room, so we're constrained by the size of the area and by, the safety issues. We don't want more material to fail and somebody get hurt out there.
A massive amount of earth to move from a landslide that was equally unpredictable and still hard to turn away from.
Crews will get the road open soon.
Hopefully they'll have nice weather for the next couple of days to do
sure.
that. Samantha Soto is here now with the first look at weather. Sam, is the sunshine going to continue?
Well, Jacob and Diamond, unfortunately, I can't guarantee that sunshine is going to be sticking around. As for tonight, we do see those clear skies sticking around. It's going to drop down to about 40 degrees. By morning, it's going to be warming up to 43, and then by midday, it's going to warm up to 49 with some clouds. But as for tomorrow, we are going to be having that river flood warning in effect starting tomorrow, and it's going to continue into the weekend. We do have some cloudy skies in our near forecast, but I do have all of that and more coming up in my 5-day forecast, so stay tuned.
All right, Sam, thanks. 2 SIU authors will represent the university at the upcoming NAACP Image Awards in Hollywood. Allison Joseph and Cyrus Cassels received nominations in the Outstanding Literacy Work Poetry Division. Joseph is the current director at the Creative Writing in the English Department, and Cassels' recent book was published by the SIU Press. The ceremony will be live on March 30th on TV1. And a public university in Illinois denied some students' requests to raise a flag special to them, so faculty took action. A group of EIU students, that is, wanted the Black Lives Matter flag to hang at the university flagpole during the Black History Month. But EIU officials and the Student Government Association denied that request, so 6 university professors decided to stand with their students. Staff members hung their own flags in the front windows at the front of campus.
This was an alternative way of supporting the students and showing that our faculty felt that Black Lives Matter was an important movement that deserved our support.
The teachers are keeping the flags up throughout the month, but some say they might keep them up longer. University officials say the flagpole was not an appropriate place for a political statement.
Ahead on Evening Edition, a cold case in Illinois may finally be solved.
Plus, passengers stuck on the train are finally moving. You're watching Evening Edition at 5.
Police say they have a suspect in a murder case in Illinois that has been cold for more than 4 years. 20-year-old Kaylin Whitaker was found shot in Martinsville on Halloween night in 2014.
Martinsville is located in Clark County, not far from the Illinois-Indiana border. No one was arrested until her boyfriend went to police on Sunday and said, "I did it." Now officials say Connor Scott approached police in Danville, Indiana entirely on his own. Taylor Williams got reaction from Whitaker's parents in Clark County.
I can truthfully say to him that I do forgive him. I couldn't before when it first happened, but that's what I would say to him.
Forgiveness. It's something Leslie Roberts and David Whitaker never thought they'd be able to do. But Monday, they were awoken by 2 Illinois State Police troopers at 5 a.m. with the news that an arrest had been made in their daughter's case. And their daughter's former boyfriend, Connor Scott, was behind bars.
And then I'm at work and she calls and says he confessed on his own. I'm thinking, I wouldn't have guessed that one. I wouldn't have guessed that that's what I really thought he was going to get away with this.
Back on Halloween of 2014, 20-year-old Kaylin Whitaker was found with a gunshot wound to the head in Scott's rural Martinsville, Illinois home. They were a couple at the time. Initially, the death appeared to be a suicide. 10 months later, an autopsy ruled her death was a homicide. 4.5 years later, Kaylin's parents say it's been worth the wait for answers.
He loved Kaylin, but he just made a very bad choice.
Now, officials are working to extradite Scott to Illinois. He's expected to face first-degree murder charges here.
Police say a mother and daughter killed 5 of their family members yesterday in Pennsylvania. 45-year-old Shanna Decree and her 19-year-old daughter Dominique are each charged with 5 counts of homicide and 1 count of conspiracy. The victims were found dead after police responded to a wellness check. Shanna was arraigned earlier today and is being held without bail. While her daughter is expected to be arraigned later, it's unclear how the victims have died. And San Francisco County has become the first county in the nation to automate dismissal of marijuana convictions. Recreational marijuana is now legal in California, but thousands of people still have convictions from when it was legal. However, many of them are now eligible to have those records omitted. San Francisco County developed a special algorithm in the last 13 months. Officials dismissed nearly 10,000 convictions.
After being stranded by the weather for more than 30 hours in Oregon, a train carrying nearly 200 people is moving once again. The train headed for Los Angeles Sunday evening when it came to a standstill after hitting the tree on the tracks. Due to the track blockage, crews were unable to reach the train. However, the train started moving once again today. An Amtrak spokesperson says due to the weather conditions, there will be delays while the train heads back to Seattle. And the United Auto Workers Union is suing General Motors. According to the lawsuit, the union is asking the court to order GM to reverse its decision to close plants in Baltimore, Lordstown, Ohio, and Warren, Michigan, saying the closings breach a 2015 labor agreement. The lawsuit is seeking damage for affected employees, including back wages and benefits. GM says it's not in violation of its labor contract with the union.
And Facebook is allowing Russia link pages again. Earlier this month, Facebook suspended the pages that were tied to the RT, a Russian state-backed media outlet. Facebook doesn't have an official policy that calls for state-supported outlets to reveal funding sources. However, a spokesperson for them says the company is working toward making pages on its sites clearer. In contrast, YouTube has been labeling videos that come from state-funded media outlets. And President Trump's four-year lawyer, Michael Cohen, began his first of 3 congressional testimonies today. 1 will be a public session and 2 will be private, including today's closed-door meeting. Cohen will get the opportunity to discuss interactions with the president, such as his finances and conflicts of interest in his presidency. Cohen starts a 3-year prison sentence in May for tax crimes, campaign finance violations, and lying to Congress in a previous testimony.
The heated debate over the Trump administration's controversial zero-tolerance immigration policy came to Capitol Hill today.
In the hearing, lawmakers and White House officials faced off. Camilla Bernal has a recap.
I'll always remember Roger because he was 9 months old.
Thousands of children separated from their parents, and lawmakers now demanding answers.
He had no band, no ID, nothing. And so one wonders where Roger is today.
The House Judiciary Committee holding its first hearing on family separations, where representatives repeatedly raised concerns about the tracking of families who had been separated at the U.S.-Mexico border. Chairman Jerry Nadler kicking off the heated debate.
When a stranger rips a child from a parent's arms without any plan to reunify them, it is called kidnapping.
Administration officials explained present-day challenges like an influx in family apprehensions, how the zero-tolerance policy was rolled out, and they pointed fingers at other agencies when pressed about who was responsible. Republicans stood firm on their side of the argument.
Someone even called it kidnapping today, which is kind of outrageous. It wasn't kidnapping.
Representative Andy Biggs of Arizona showing a photo of Americans whose relatives had been killed in incidents involving undocumented immigrants.
And that is in part due to policies that fail to control our border and prosecute.
Meanwhile, in a separate bipartisan vote, the House Oversight Committee voted Tuesday to issue subpoenas related to family separations for additional hearings. In Washington, I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
Now, are these warmer temperatures sticking around? Samantha has your forecast next.
But first on Wall Street, stocks in the day with negative results. The Nightly Business Report has more coming up next at 5:30.
And welcome back to River Region Evening Edition. I'm Samantha Soto. If you take a look, we do have a viewer photo sent in today by our very own Maggie Latham overlooking our SIU campus outside of Morris Library. If you could see, it was a pretty relatively beautiful day outside. If you do have a viewer photo you want to see on our show, please be sure to send it to our Facebook or our Twitter at River Region News. Taking a look outside at today, right now it's about 59 out there with that sun still shining bright. Our dew point sets at 31 degrees, humidity at 34% with our wind coming in from the southeast at 5 miles per hour, and our barometer is at 30.23. Moving on to our almanac today, you could see that we are about 11 degrees higher than our average at 50, and we did not reach that average low of 29 today. We did see our low was at 38. We did not reach that record high set in 1917 of 78, or we did not reach that low of 9 set in 1900, thankfully. Taking a look at our regional map, we could see that it was an overall sunny day across the entire region. We did see that sun pretty much all over our area. Waterloo being our lowest, up at 52 degrees, and 61 was our warmest in Paducah. Carbondale, Marion were both at 59, and Cape Girardeau and Evansville both at 58. Now moving on to our color national temperatures, you can see that our area was seeing temperatures in the 50 to 60 degree range, which gave us a little bit of a preview of spring, it felt like out there almost. However, if you take a look at our surface map, I will draw your attention to our area. We are experiencing a high pressure system is leaving our area, which is going to be responsible for any of that cooling down that we're going to be seeing in the next few days, and responsible for that cloudiness and mugginess that we're probably going to be experiencing within the next couple of days as we move on to the week. As for tonight, we're going to be seeing a low of 38 degrees. We're going to be dropping down quite a bit. It's going to be clear, however, and we're going to be seeing that wind coming in from the southeast at 5 miles per hour with our sun set at 5:47. As for tomorrow morning, it is going to be warming up quite a bit to 45. Mostly cloudy skies again with our southwest winds at 6 miles per hour. So it is going to be a little bit cool, so you do want to still be bringing a jacket. As for tomorrow, we're going to be seeing 51 degrees, cloudy skies again with our wind coming in from the northwest at 9 miles per hour. Sun is rising at 6:31. As for tomorrow night, we're going to be dropping down quite a bit to 27 degrees, cloudy skies again. Wind is coming in from the north at 9 miles per hour. Our sun is going to be setting at 5:48. Taking a look at that 5-day, we are going to, those are those clouds that I've been telling you guys all about. We're going to be seeing pretty much for the rest of the week. Wednesday, we're going to be seeing 51, Thursday, 33, Friday, 44, Saturday, 38, and by Sunday, we could possibly be dropping down to 12 degrees with some snow. So we could probably be seeing some snow. So although it was pretty warm today, we are going to be dropping down as we go into the week. So
yeah, hopefully we see the sunshine do return.
Hopefully.
All right, thanks, Sam.
And now here's Ryan Davis with a preview of what's coming up next in sports. Ryan?
Well, today in sports, a decision is reached concerning the controversial Serena Williams comic. And bad weather has Saluki softball on the move. Find out more on River Region Evening Edition at 5. Sorry, softball fans, but due to predicted inclement weather this weekend, Saluki softball has moved the Coach B Classic to Chattanooga, Tennessee. SIU will be facing off against number 17 Kentucky, St. Louis, and Murray State throughout the weekend. First pitch will be Friday at 12:15 p.m., but you can follow the live stats at SIUSalukis.com. And facing off against teams across the country, including 5 Power 5 conference teams, the SIU men's golf team finished 14th at the Wyoming Desert Intercollegiate. Texas Tech managed to take home the title, scoring 6 under par for the overall tournament. The Salukis, meanwhile, scored 40 over par. SIU's heavy hitter for the weekend was Mathis Bassard, who managed to hit 5 over par and tie for 29th. But the SIU women's golf fared better than the week's Islander Classic, however. The Salukis pulled off a third-place finish, losing only to Houston Baptist and Texas A&M. The women swung for a 59 over par and a team total score of 923 strokes. The standout dogs for the Classic were Emily McGiles, Jackie Biggs, and Erica Kerr, who all ended the day for 9th with 230 strokes apiece. Women's golf won't be back in action until March 10th for the spring break shootout in Florida. And the SIU track and field team won not 1, not 2, but 5 individual MVC titles at the 2019 MVC Indoor Track and Field Championships in Northern Iowa. For the overall tournament, the women's side finished 3rd behind Northern Iowa and Indiana State. Meanwhile, the men's team reached 5th place, losing to Illinois State and once again Northern Iowa. The final indoor tournament is March 8th, followed by the opening of the outdoor season. And last night saw the Bulls take on the Milwaukee Bucks at home. The first quarter started off great with the Bulls scoring 38 points despite the Bucks' outstanding defense. However, the second quarter was the exact opposite of the first, with the Bucks pulling ahead of the Bulls by 9. Chicago tried to recover in the second half but remained 10 behind throughout, eventually losing 117-106. The Bulls head to Memphis tomorrow to play the Grizzlies. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. and can be viewed on NBC Sports. In a stunning turn of events, the Australian Press Council yesterday ruled that the controversial Australian newspaper cartoon depicting tennis star Serena Williams at the 2018 U.S. Open did not violate the country's press standards. The widely criticized cartoon depicted Williams jumping up and down next to a broken racket and a pacifier which she had spat out. The artist, Mark Knight of the Herald Sun, received a number of complaints about the image.
And I can say that when I drew the cartoon, it was like, yeah, that's not bad, and off it went. Her facial expressions are one of somebody having a dummy spit.
The official ruling of the council was that the comic captured Williams' quote-unquote tantrum using satire, caricature, exaggeration, and humor.
Thanks, Ryan. How long will we need our sunglasses? Samantha has a final check of the forecast next.
But first, as we head to break, be sure to follow us on social media at River Region News and check out our website for more local content. We'll be right back. Finally tonight, a classic car is getting a groovy revival.
A couple in California recently built a replica of the iconic Volkswagen light bus associated with the Woodstock Music Festival. The artist who painted the original bus led a team to restore the art to the replica. The couple says the bus is set to make an appearance at the 50th anniversary of the Woodstock Music Festival later this year. Well, hopefully they have some great weather for that, but I don't think we're going to have so much of some great weather.
Unfortunately, we are going to be cooling down quite a bit into the weekend. Tomorrow it's going to be 51, but by Wednesday it's going to drop down to 33. Friday is going to warm up a little bit to 44, but then Saturday we're back down to 38, and then by Sunday we could possibly be seeing some snow. So we do have that in our future. It's not going to be very pleasant, but it is what it is.
Yeah, after seeing the sunshine today in the upper 50s, we're quickly reminded that winter is not over.
Winter is still
not.
here.
Exactly.
Definitely seeing some more of those lower temperatures. Not too excited about that.
Me either.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you for joining us tonight. The Nightly Business Report is up next. I'm Dinah Palmer.
And I'm Jacob Gordon. For Samantha Soto, Ryan Davis, and all the students who work on Evening Edition. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.